Did Lila kill Ben in Reacher Season 4, Episode 4? Explained. Warning: spoilers for Reacher Season 4, Episode 4. The episode strongly implies that Lila Hoth and Amisha Hoth were responsible for Ben Merrick's death. It never actually shows Lila killing Ben on screen, but the evidence is deliberately stacked against the Hoths. The same type of curved karambit blade found in connection with Ben's murder is seen in Lila and Amisha's possession at the end of the episode. So, did Lila Hoth kill Ben? The answer is almost certainly yes, but with one important distinction. Episode 4 doesn't give us a flashback showing Lila stabbing Ben. Instead, the show uses clues to reveal what really happened. And that final reveal completely changes the way we should look at Lila. For the first few episodes of Season 4, Reacher believes Lila is someone who needs his protection. She claims she's seriously ill. She says she's searching for her biological father, Congressman John Sampson. She appears to be caught between dangerous government agents and mysterious assassins. But by the end of Episode 4, that image is gone. Lila isn't simply a victim, and Ben Merrick's murder may be the first major proof. Let's go back to what happened. Who is Ben Merrick? Ben Merrick is the son of Anna Merrick and the nephew of Jacob Merrick. His disappearance becomes increasingly important as Reacher investigates Anna's death. Anna died by suicide at the beginning of the season, but Reacher quickly becomes convinced that something doesn't add up. Anna had been involved with a mysterious flash drive containing extremely sensitive information. She apparently knew something about a classified operation connected to Congressman John Sampson and his military past. Then Ben disappears. At first, Jacob isn't sure what to make of it. Ben is young. He's away from home. And there are initially explanations for why nobody has heard from him. But eventually, the truth becomes unavoidable. Ben is dead. And his death isn't an accident. The murder is connected to the larger conspiracy surrounding Anna and the missing flash drive. That's where the karambit becomes important. The karambit clue. A karambit is a curved blade traditionally associated with Southeast Asian martial arts. In Reacher Season 4, it becomes a very specific clue connecting several apparently unrelated events. Ben's body shows evidence that he was killed using a curved blade. And the weapon connects his murder to the Indonesian side of the story. That's significant because Lila and Amisha have a connection to Indonesia. Lila has already revealed that her original story wasn't true. She isn't simply a woman with leukemia searching for a bone marrow donor. She's actually an investigative journalist. And Amisha isn't really her mother. Lila is investigating what happened in Indonesia and how Congressman Sampson's former Delta Force unit may have been connected to General Putra and the violence there. So Indonesia isn't just part of Lila's backstory. It's connected to the larger mystery. And then the show gives us another piece of the puzzle. The Hoths have karambits. What happens at the end of Episode 4? Near the end of the episode, Reacher is trying to reach Lila and Amisha. They're being targeted by armed men. From Reacher's perspective, this looks like another attempt to kill the women he's been protecting. So naturally, he goes after them. But when Reacher finally reaches the location, something is very wrong. The attackers are already dead. There are multiple bodies. And Lila and Amisha are gone. Reacher didn't kill them. The women did. The episode leaves the exact sequence deliberately mysterious, but it then gives viewers the crucial visual clue. Lila and Amisha are shown with karambit knives. They aren't terrified. They aren't helpless. They look completely comfortable with the weapons. That final image is essentially the show's answer. The Hoths are capable of extreme violence. And the implication is that they were responsible for Ben's murder as well. So did Lila personally kill Ben? This is where we need to be precise. The episode does not explicitly show Lila killing Ben. So we shouldn't say that the show has definitively shown Lila personally delivering the fatal blow. What the episode does establish is that Lila and Amisha are strongly implicated in Ben's murder. The evidence is circumstantial, but extremely deliberate. Ben was killed with a karambit. The Hoths have karambits. The Hoths are connected to Indonesia. Ben appears to have been used as leverage in the attempt to obtain the flash drive. And then, immediately after the investigation reveals the karambit connection, the show reveals Lila and Amisha carrying those exact types of weapons. That's not accidental storytelling. The show is telling us to connect the dots. And there is an even stronger connection. The events surrounding Ben resemble the storyline from Lee Child's novel Gone Tomorrow, which is the source material for Season 4. In the novel, the Hoths abduct and torture the son of a government employee to force his mother to retrieve sensitive information. When she fails to meet their demands, they kill her son and use his death as a threat. The television adaptation has changed names and details, but the broad idea is extremely similar. That makes Ben's death even more significant. He wasn't necessarily killed because the Hoths simply wanted him dead. He was leverage. Why would Lila kill Ben? The missing flash drive is the key. Merrick had access to sensitive government information. She apparently downloaded a file connected to the classified history surrounding Samson and Indonesia. That file was supposed to be transferred using the flash drive. But things went wrong. Ben became part of the equation. The Hoths appear to have used him to pressure Anna. And that explains why Anna's story is so tragic. She wasn't simply grieving her son. She was apparently dealing with the consequences of what had happened to him. The episode reveals that Anna had reached a breaking point. Her son was dead. The people responsible were still out there. And the information she had been involved with had become incredibly dangerous. That gives her suicide a completely different context. At first, Reacher thinks Anna's death is suspicious. By episode 4, he begins understanding why she may have believed there was no way out. But why did Lila pretend to need Reacher? This is perhaps the biggest question after the twist. Lila has spent several episodes getting closer to Reacher. She initially presented herself as someone who needed help. She claimed to have leukemia. She claimed she needed to find John Sampson because he could potentially be a bone marrow match. Then she admitted that story wasn't true. She's actually a journalist. So, what else has she been lying about? That's the question Reacher now has to answer. And there are two possibilities. One is that Lila deliberately manipulated Reacher from the beginning. If that's true, then Reacher has essentially been helping one of the people behind the conspiracy. That's a huge problem, because Reacher is extremely useful to someone like Lila. He can fight. He can investigate. He can intimidate people. He can access information. And most importantly, he can go places that Lila may not be able to go herself. If she could convince Reacher that she was the victim, she could potentially use him to eliminate her enemies. That's a frightening possibility. But there's another possibility. Lila may genuinely have feelings for Reacher. Her investigation may have started for legitimate reasons. She may genuinely want the truth about what happened in Indonesia. And she may have gradually crossed moral lines while pursuing that truth. That would make her character much more complicated than simply being an evil mastermind. And Reacher appears to be deliberately leaving that possibility open. What about Amisha? Amisha is arguably just as important as Lila. The final scene doesn't show Lila alone with a weapon. Amisha is armed too. That means the secret isn't just Lila's. Whatever happened to Ben appears to involve both women. And Amisha's Indonesian history makes the connection even stronger. The show has established that Amisha and her husband were in Indonesia during the period when General Putra's forces were committing atrocities. Her husband was killed. That history gives her a powerful motive. But it also raises another question. Did Lila learn violence from Amisha? Or are the two women working as part of a larger organization?
We don't know yet.
And that's why calling Lila the ultimate villain may be premature. She's clearly an antagonist now. But there could still be someone above her. Is Lila the main villain? Not necessarily. Episode 4 gives us a massive twist, but it doesn't reveal the entire conspiracy. The missing flash drive is still important. The classified operation in Indonesia is still unexplained. Congressman Sampson still has secrets. And the exact reason the Hoths are pursuing the information remains unclear. So Lila may be one piece of a much larger operation. That would fit Reacher perfectly. The apparent villain often turns out to be connected to an even bigger problem. And the show has already changed major elements from Gone Tomorrow, meaning book readers can't assume every future event will happen exactly as it does in the novel. What does this mean for Reacher? This is where things get really interesting. Reacher has spent the entire season trying to protect Lila. Now he has to investigate her. And that creates an entirely different conflict. Because if Lila killed Ben, then Reacher has been protecting someone connected to the murder of Jacob's nephew. And if Lila manipulated him, Reacher is going to take that personally. But there is another problem. Reacher may still have feelings for her. That makes the eventual confrontation much more complicated. This isn't going to be just Reacher versus another group of armed men. It's Reacher discovering that someone he trusted may have been lying to him the entire time. And that's exactly why the episode 4 ending works. The show doesn't simply introduce a new villain. It turns one of Reacher's closest allies into a potential enemy. So, did Lila kill Ben? The most accurate answer is, the episode strongly implies that Lila and Amisha Hoth were responsible for Ben Merrick's murder, but it does not show Lila personally killing him. The karambit is the crucial clue. Ben was killed with one. Lila and Amisha possess them. The Hoths have the Indonesian connection. And the circumstances surrounding Ben's disappearance fit the larger pattern of the Hoths using people as leverage to obtain sensitive information. So, if you're asking whether the show wants us to believe Lila is connected to Ben's murder, the answer is absolutely yes. But if you're asking whether we have seen definitive proof that Lila herself was the person who physically killed Ben, the answer is not yet. And that distinction could become important, because episode May 4th have revealed who the killers are, but it hasn't yet revealed everything about why they did it. The real mystery now is no longer simply, who killed Ben? It's, who are Lila and Amisha Hoth really working for, and how much of Reacher's investigation have they been controlling? And with Reacher now potentially on their trail, the Hoths may have just made their biggest mistake. They didn't just kill Ben. They may have given Jack Reacher a reason to hunt them.